If you're barefoot, just wiggle your toes a little bit, see what that feels like on the floor. If not, wiggle your toes a little bit and see what that feels like where your feet are. Let's get a little bit taller, then a little bit taller. Focus on somewhere in these vertebrae um, where you know there's some issues. If you have, I don't know, I do. So I'm just kind of focusing in this lower area. I'm just focusing on the energy, the thoughts, the intentions that go there, kind of open up, right, to lengthen. So it's not so, the jelly pad, right, the disc isn't so deflated. I'm thinking inflating, releasing, growing. So wherever that might, or that thought feels or would like to go for you, maybe that's our intention for class. A little bend to the knees. Let the hands rise with the legs up to the heart. And letting go. Pulling the energy up, lengthening, opening, expanding that area in you that needs a little attention. And let's open up the arms. Across America, from each of us to the each of us. And here's that hug for all those others that are usually in class, Mondays or Fridays. And those other folks that bring us positivity and connection as well. And just like I asked the folks that came to class today, and I always ask you, think of those good things about you. Say some good ones about you. Let that bring a smile to the inside and the outside as we lift up ourselves in word and in body. Let that energy just float to the outside of you. The other morning I was going outside to practice for myself, and I saw what I call Texas snow. The tree in the back over here. It's like it was snowing. The leaves just came down and down and down. One more. I'd never seen such a thing. That many leaves. I've seen a few come down, but that was like snow. But here, let the hands come down to rest to the center of you, like those leaves came down for the tree and rested to the earth. Pause. Feel that intention or words where the area of your body needs to have a little expansion or release. Let the hands float in, sinking down. Now we're going to start with drumming the body. That way we can open up our spine for serving the tea. So hands opened or closed, and then we turn and tap. A little bend to the knees, a little tuck to the tailbone. You can let your feet go wider if you like, but just tap to the front, tap to the back. Not hard, you're not hitting yourself. Now let's take that top hand, the front hand, and we're going to go right up there where your shoulder and chest draw together. So up top, we're still tapping the back, but as you can hear in my voice when I tap, opening up, focusing on the energy line that creates healing for the lungs. Now let's take that forward hand and literally give yourself a pat on the back. Now I need this because my shoulders have been a little bit tense. It's driving on a 8-lane highway today. Let's come back to the chest, back to the waist. Slow it down. Arms go heavy. The waist continues to turn. And when you feel is the right time, still as a stone. So you open up the spine and allow the waist to increase some mobility. Increase the synovial fluid to the knees. Let's take our time and we'll acquire our teacup. Now our teacup today, this evening, this afternoon, this experience, we're going to do the reverse motion. Now reverse motion pulls in, goes behind, pulls back across to the front, okay? And then you'll lean to the side and the cup comes up. Then we look up as you sink down in the waist, and then it serves right back out to you and I, okay? So let your feet come out to a comfortable horse riding position. Find your knees to be bent. Now you can't tell since I'm wearing black and we're in 2D, but we're going to sit our hips back like we're sitting to a horse. Let the hands rest into the crooks of the hips. And we're just going to sway side to side. Like we always do. Start to feel step by step how the body feels today. I notice in my left knee, there's a little something there. Now, when we sit to the horse, do your best not to exaggerate or release the low back too much because we don't want to cause any tension in the low back, right? Now we're going to reach the cup out to the darker side of the room. Pull it across the front. The waist turns, we pull back in. Your breath, however you like it to be. Now the other arm, the one that's doing nothing, check on it. Make sure it's not being held up by the shoulder. If you need to, you can sink down a little bit more to your horse or just have a sit down in the chair. Now here we go. We're going to take the teacup to the side, turn it behind, like I'm going to say slap me 5. We shift over to the darker side of the room. We pull the cup over as we shift the weight over. And there's the lean. Bring the cup over. When it gets to the top, we sit back down. Just look up with your eyes. Just look with your eyes. And then watch the cup go back out and away and pull it back across. We sink to the other side of the room. The cup goes back. It pulls around wherever you got in the shoulder right there. Just let it open up. Leaning to the side. Open up the spine. And a little looking up as you sit down. And bring it back around. I'm just going to say a few things here, okay? Pull it back. Shift the weight. Lean, exhale. Inhale over top. And then now to you and I. Now 3 more times, I'm saying nothing. Find your flow where the body wants it to go. See you when you get back. My last one is here. Wherever yours is, it's fine. If you want an extra. When you finish the last movement, bring your feet back under place of the hips. and pause. Feel wonderful. Breathe. Take a tour through you. That area or areas you'd focused on, maybe opening up. How did that feel? If you have a physical cup, let it go to the other hand. I don't know about you, but this whole side of the body, it said thank you. All right, feet open again. And let's just rock side to side. Sitting back just a little. Now when you sit back, we are mindful that the knees are not going past they can go to the toes, just not past the toes. If they go past the toes, it's just a hair's width. Cups come to the side, or cup. Let's reach out to the lighter side of the room, pull across. Now the cup should be so light, your fingers are just kind of in a cupped position with a cup in them. When we come back, we will begin. And here we go. The elbow draws to the side. We turn the cup into beside the ribs and forearm. We turn it away and lean to the other side. Bring it across the body. Take it up and over, but bring both knees equally bent like we're sitting back to the horse. So we sink down and we try to look up best we can. And T for you. Back to the other side we shift. We pull back across, tuck the cup behind. Lean, let go, flow. Sitting down, looking up the best we can. Three without me saying anything. See if I can do that. Watch the cup. One more, shifting side to side. And rest. Pause. Take a tour through you. Start like maybe the crown of the head or the soles of the feet. And just scan through each layer of you. You can say, I'm going to scan my head. Any tension in the ears, eyes, nose, lips, jaw. Going down to the neck. We start at the feet. See the toes are relaxed. And just observe as you go through you what you feel now. Energy, the warmth, the lengthening of the spine, ribs, muscles, fascia, tendons, ligaments. Let's take our cup and set it down nearby. Now, outside that way, down the stairs. I may have mentioned before, there's a little picnic area. They have a grill. but nobody's there at 7 in the morning when I'm out there. And so I'm going to share with you, and for you to practice along, of course, to join me so we can play with some Tai Chi. So you'll need the distance of maybe what is 2 or 3 steps for you. Okay, 2 or 3 steps. It's nothing new, nothing you have never done before. Same wonderful movements, but just presented in a way that if you have a length of a room, that you can practice that same said movement over and over again. Just find different ways to transfer, whether you're going to roll back or wave the hands like clouds, or however you want to get there. So we'll go with, since we were talking about the peacock earlier, we will hold the bird by the tail. So let's open the door. The hands float up, sinking down. When we float up, we're going to ward off to the darker side of the room. Here we go. So we know we're going to root into the lighter side of the room. We're going to take our bow stance forward. Here we go. Bow stance, part the horse's mane. Hold the bird by the tail. Now from here, the hands draw up, but instead of coming back this way, they go to the side of you. So after we go from here, we're going to rock back and the hands come up. Okay, so your front toe should be up, way to the back leg. Then we roll back to the outside of the body, and then we step forward if you have your T-step, and look, see, you're ready already. Let's take our step forward and part the horse's mane. Now we rock back, the hands float up. This is your third step. The hands float down, we step forward. Breath in and out. Let's wave our hands like clouds. We're going to rock back, so we lift the front toe, brush knee. Now from here, we continue to wave our hands like clouds. We're going to step backwards. So we finish the brush knee, wave your hands like clouds, stepping back into place, kind of like the Wudon practice, right? And then we step back again. The hands continue, but stay with me. We rock to the back, but not another step, because we have to part the horse's mane. Hold the bird by the tail. And wave the hands like clouds. We step back to where you began the movements. And just like we finished in the Wudon practice right there. That's what it is, right? It's 3 steps back, waving hands like clouds, and then you finish with here. Yeah. Now let's wave the hands like clouds, step back. Now your feet are side by side. So we stepped out with the right foot. Now we're going to do the left. Now both arms reach to the darker side of the room. We ward off. We roll back. Embrace the moon. Step to me. Part your horse's mane. Hold the bird by the tail. Wave the hands like clouds and rock back. Shift the weight forward again. And right there, see, you got your moon already. You stepped forward. And here we go. We rock back. We step forward. There's the moon. And now from here, let's wave our hands like clouds. And we're going to step back while we wave hands like clouds. We're going to shift the weight back forward and brush knee. Wave the hands like clouds, stepping back, then brush knee again. So we step back. You'll know when it's time to brush knee because we root behind, right? We retreat, and then we advance, right? And we got one more, so we'll bring our feet side by side, waving our hands like clouds. Beautiful. Let the arms rest. Let the body come to stillness. Sinking down, a little shift of weight from the lighter side to the darker side. Now, I'm sure you have the footwork and the hands aces, right? But we're going to work just on the footwork. So we're going to shift the weight to the lighter side of the room. Let's bring in the T step here. Now step to me, wherever your step needs to be. We're going to rock forward, back, forward. Okay, so there's forward, so you complete whatever the movement is that you want it to be. Remember, close the drawer, remember that one? So then we rock back. This would be either sweeping to the side or waving your hands like clouds. Then we sink the weight back forward again. We draw the back foot up. And off we go with our step. Now we will make sure that our feet are staying the width of our shoulders so we're not stepping in a straight line, just in case. Rock forward, rock back. Now, we have one more thing we need to focus on. That's the turning of the waist, right? So as we come back, we turn the waist. We step back. When we step back, the waist turns us again to the leg we're stepping back with, as we rock the foot up to the front, right? And then the waist brings us back forward, wherever the arm movements might be, yeah? And then we turn away. This allows us to spiral in, right? So we're sinking, turning, twisting in, and then stepping back into place to unwind and expand. Come back to stillness. So our movements forward, the transfer of foot to what the movement will be this rolling back movement, okay? So we're going to start forward and back one time with part the horse's mane, okay? Then when we come back and go forward, we're going to do our brush knee. And all in between, it's either rolling back and warding off or waving the hands like clouds. And if your body feels like one is better than the one that I'm doing, find your Tai Chi. Yeah? All right, here we go. Let's shift the weight to the light side. Back to the dark side. Come back to center. Find everything to be still. A little sinking down. The hands float up. All the way down. Then we come back up. We'll go to the darker side of the room. Elbows sink in. There's the ward off. The movements can be tiny too, right? We've done that before if you're too warm. And there we go. We rock back, the arms go out. We roll the hands down. We roll back, right, to the outside of the leg to float up the half of the moon. Then we'll take our step out. There we are again. We rock back as the hands float up. And there's our moon. There's our said animal. So that's our third step. So the hands float up. We're going to come down like we usually do so we can step back, because that's going to be the foot that's forward, right? Circle, step back. There's our moon. Our foot's already forward. It's like magic. And now the hands go up. Now they go to the extended leg side. Stepping back, there's the ward off. And here's our roll back. Legs are already extended, and there we have our horse. One more time is here. Let's step back into place. The hands flow with the leg that's stepping back. Leave the foot extended. That's already extended. No need to make anything extra. And part the horse's mane. Let the arms come down heavy. Foot steps back. So now our heels are side by side. Gather the chi. Now imagine doing that for 10, 15 steps. Whatever amount of room that you have, right? So it doesn't really matter how you get to the movement, but we just want to be able to use this long space, right? In the practice of Taekwondo, we would do 40, 50 down blocks in a straight line and come back, down and back. So we can do the same thing with like any of these movements. Okay, let's wave hands like clouds. Today it was dragon plays with the clouds because we did the all things flying. Okay, so we're going to root into the dark side of the room. We're going to step forward. So we have our T step and there's our moon. We step forward, brush knee. We rock back. We wave our hands like clouds. Stepping forward. T step if we have it. And brush knee. Wave hands like clouds. That's step 2. A breath in. Exhale. A breath in. Third step, exhale. Now this one's a bit easier going backwards. The hands just continue to do this waving hands like cloud movement. You step wide, we root to the back leg. You just rock back to forward. Remember the waist turns, that's the greater turn. Stepping back. Find the movement that's best for your stepping back. Brush knee. And now we step back, heels under hips, feet side by side. And let one hand sink, the other comes down to pause. Gather the chi, however you want it to be. White crane spreads its wings, stepping forward. Now on this next one, on this white cranes, we're going to go forward and we're going to turn around. So I won't see you, you won't see me. So it'll be up to you to do the same kind of movement, still 3 steps and 3 steps. So here we go. Let the hands float up. We'll take it over here to the light side. So we come into our T step. We tap the toe and there's the white crane. The hands wave like clouds. We lift the front toe up. And so now that toe comes to toes up. And then we wave our hands like clouds. We step forward. And spread your wings. We rock the toe up. From the toe being down. Unless your body finds another pathway that's easier. And that's our 3rd step. So how do we get to the other side? I tell you what, let the arms float up. Pull across, stepping back into place, heels under hips. Embrace your moon. Step back to turn. And as you turn, let the toe that's tapping down be the one that's going to be with no weight, but it's after you rock into it. Then you sink back and open up. It doesn't matter what direction you're facing. Now here, toe comes up, wave the hands like clouds. We step forward from the back leg. Open up your wings. One more, the toe goes from toe to heel. Wave the hands like clouds. See if you got the room where you can just kind of stay right there in place and open up. Now let the foot come down and we're going to ward off to the side that feels most appropriate for you. Feel every step that you take. Let the hands float up again. Now we come to center. Let's hold the moon with the darker side of the room hand up. And we're going to make this even easier without even the T step. Just from here, open up. Good. Now let the hands circle around and just sink the weight forward. Stepping forward to step out. Just bring the heel down. Turn the moon over. And spread your wings. Turn the moon over, stepping back with the foot that's forward. And then lift the heel of the leg that's now extended. Turn the moon over as you step back into place. One foot has to be forward of the other. And then spread your wings. Arms sink down. The extended leg steps back. We should be back to where we began. If not, make those few adjustments to get there. Let's reach up high. Lengthen the spine, the mind, the breath. Now in Taekwondo, the art of foot and hand, we have something that's like brush knee, but it's called a down block. And so our down block, we come up kind of like the moon, but the arms are cross. Actually, this hand goes on top. Arms are cross, and you step out into a front stance, which is our bow stance, right? And that'd be your down block. But there was never any emphasis or focus on what am I feeling inside, all very outside, hard style. And it wasn't fluid and relaxed. It was very quick and hard. So it's however you want to take your stance to be out there for your bow stance. It can be a longer one on the days you feel stronger, or a shorter one when you're just feeling not so much. Okay, let's bring our feet together. We're going to do the 8, but the steps are going to be a little different. Again, nothing you haven't done before. Maybe a few twists here and there, literally. So let's open up the door. Feet open up the width of the hips or shoulders. Feel the weight pour evenly to both legs. As the arms float up to open the door, imagine those spaces that we needed to increase, like we did in the beginning of class. Focus it there. Palms turn up to the stars. We sink, we rise. Hands sinking down. To the dark side of the room, we start first repulsing the monkey. Let your eyes look away from the camera. Follow the hand away. Watch it float in. Feel the other one where the monkey sits. And then push it away, sinking down. And we open. And we sink. Push, a high five for you and me. Thanks for being here. And one more to the other side. This is the last full movement to repulse the monkey. So now we open up. Let's ward off. We're going to step forward with parting the horse's wild mane. Here we are. Step in to step out. Leave the foot extended. Let the hands float up. The toe rises. As the hands ward off, we step forward into T-step. We roll back, step forward to part the horse's mane. We rock back, the hands float up. Nothing that we haven't done yet. We're going to sink the weight forward. Yes, we are. But only one time, because that's 3 steps, right? Brush knee. The hands float up. We ward off. And as we ward off and root to the other leg, we step back. And then here we roll back to step back like we did before. Leave the foot extended so we can come back to brush knee. Now waving hands like clouds, we'll step back, heels under hips, because you're almost to where you began. 3 steps. Remember, the hand that rises is the foot that comes in. The knees are bent, the pelvis turns. We have 2 more steps, finishing with the feet closer together. Tuck the tailbone a little. Just enough that it feels right. Be the clouds, or lighter than the clouds. 3 steps to go back. There's the second. So we're going to finish with the feet apart. The dark side of the room, that arm comes down. It's done. We have a little something here for the rooster, so stay with me. So this time, regular rooster like we've done a gazillion times. When the foot comes down, it goes slightly forward, like a mini step. And then the other rooster draws up. There we've taken another step forward. Now here we will stay in place for the safety of us all to do the lotus kick. So we sink down, find where your kick fits you best. Hinge the hips and knees so you're not bowing, but you're sinking down like you're going to sit to the chair. Okay, now here we go. Reaching forward. We ward off to the dark side. Remember in the past, we've stepped backwards, right? So here we go. Step in, find your step to go completely sideways. You're not going to see me. So here you step, right? Turn, release the sparrow, and then pull to push. We're going to do the same again. So that means that extended leg turns in like a pigeon toe. So toes face each other. We roll back, lift up the other foot, safety with the knees. Pull back in, we step back. Grasp the sparrow's tail. Take another step back. Now your feet should be like you're in a walking stance. If not, adjust it. Once you let the sparrow go, it should be a comfortable stance. And then we can pull and push. Ward off to the other side. So we turn the toe in. When we get about halfway, the other toe has to turn out. And then we pull in to step back, and it's the white crane that spreads its wings. There we are. Wasn't that fantastic? We step back into place, and we draw our feet together, closing the door. Come to stillness. Pause. Feel. Breathe. For me right now, maybe you feel this in the hands, like big time. If you feel that heartbeat or surging or tingling or pulsing sensation, take a gentle look down to your hands and see what color they may be. Mine are quite on the red side. Energy's flowing because we're going. Here, feet come apart. Let's hold up the sky. We haven't done enough in class today to lengthen all the way up. I know in the teacup we did, but the elbows were bent, right? And open up to hold the sides of the wall. Bring the fingers and thumbs back to you right there. Extend the shoulders, release the fingertips. A breath up and in. Look up if you like. Sink the weight to the toes if you like. Three more times. Unless you want 4. I did this one this morning as I sat to the edge of the bed. My body just got really tense, right? Fantastic. Guide the chi with the mind. As we reach up, think about those vertebrae that we need to extend. Open them up. See the energy flow through. I've chosen blue, electric blue, because, well, it's chi, right? One more time. Let the hands come to the center of you. Take a moment to plug in what's happening inside. Does your body feel warmer, cooler, calmer, more energized? Teacher said that Tai Chi is the great, what was the word he used? We'll say balancer. Because if you feel excited, it calms you down. If you're too calm or lethargic, then it brings you up just enough. Really finding the balance of our yin and yang. Yeah. Sinking down. Let's open up the arms. Last 3 movements. Gathering, sweeping, draw it down. Just the opposite, right? Finding the balance of where this movement may fit in best with you. The palms rise, gather all the energy from above as we lengthen our spine and mind once again. Blowing out that celebration cake. One more time. As always and forever, invite you to think about those people, places, things, thoughts, and ideas that bring us health, healing, hope, and happiness into our minds, our mental energy, to our hearts, our emotional energy, and into our bodies, physical energy. Draw it in, sink it down. Let it infuse all of who and what you are to your atomic level. Remember those atoms. 99% space free. So stuff them with happy faces. Maybe someone else around you needs to see one that's from you. Thanks, family. I hope you enjoyed this bit of a challenge of how to change things around in your perception of steps and movement for Tai Chi.